G'day guys, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Get Tasty. My name's Gus, and today I'm going to show you guys exactly how I like to make my spaghetti bolognese. I've been making it for a long time. I've eaten it as a kid and I still enjoy a nice big bowl of it today. So let's get in the kitchen and let's start cooking. So as you can see here, the ingredients, pretty straightforward. We've got extra virgin olive oil, salt, pepper, carrots, celery, pork mince, beef mince, 1 onion, 2 garlic cloves, a little bit of diced bacon, probably about 100 grams, some green basil. I like to use the Jamie Oliver chili garlic pesto. This is a little secret ingredient that I like to throw in. And then one of my favorite sauces to use is the Five Brothers Bolognese sauce. This is from Tuscany, the original recipe, and it's absolutely delicious. So to begin with, we're going to start with an onion, which has been peeled and cut in half. We've got 2 cloves of garlic, 2 small carrots, or if you have 1 large one, that'll suffice, and 2 sticks of celery. We're going to chop all this up and then get it into the pot. Okay, so now that the pot's on, you want it to get nice and hot. And then once it is, start by adding your olive oil. Again, like I always say, don't be shy. This is where all your flavor starts from. We got that olive oil in there, just like that. Now that the pot's nice and hot, we're going to add our diced onion. Give that a gentle stir. This is on a medium heat. Let the onions cook till they become translucent. While that's happening, we can add our salt and pepper. About a teaspoon of pepper, and the same with the salt. Give that a mix. We can turn the heat down to just below a medium flame and let that cook for another 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, so as you can see here in my little blender, I've chopped up the 2 celery sticks and the carrots, and this is going to be going in afterwards. Okay, so now that the onions have been cooking, they've gone translucent, we add our chopped garlic. And remember to turn the heat down because garlic cooks very quickly. Put it on the lowest setting. Mix it through thoroughly. Got the onion, the olive oil and the garlic mixed together. Blend in nicely. That already smells beautiful. I like to call this the Holy Trinity. Olive oil, garlic and onion. It's the beginning of greatness. I'll let that cook for another minute or so. Okay, now it's time to add the carrots and the celery. Give it a nice stir. Alright, so that's been cooking for about 2 or 3 minutes now. Looking really good. Now it's time to add the bacon. Bacon is naturally salty and fatty, so this is going to add a beautiful flavor to it. Sure you mix that through. Okay, so now that that's been cooking for another 2 or 3 minutes, it's time to add the meat. So we've got pork, and beef. Alright, this is the secret to a perfect bolognese, getting the best of both worlds, pork and beef. If you don't eat pork, you can use veal. That will work fine as well, or you can just add all beef. It's completely up to you. This is how I like to make it. This is how I've always made it, and it tastes incredible. And then just stir that through so that the meat breaks up, mixes through with the rest of the vegetable. It's going to sweat a little bit of liquid, that's fine. Once it starts to bubble, those liquids will evaporate. Okay, so we'll just keep stirring it constantly for like the next 10 minutes. You'll know when the meat is cooked, and then we can carry on. So that's been cooking for about 5 minutes now. Still got another 5 or so to go. Really starting to transform and look really, really good. So as you can see there, guys, there's the liquid coming through. All you have to do is let that evaporate, so keep stirring it through until the meat actually starts to fry, and then we can crack on with the rest of the ingredients. Alright, so that's been cooking for about 10 minutes now. As you can see, most of that water is evaporated. And if you listen carefully, it's now starting to make that crackle sound, because it's now frying the beef and the pork mince, as opposed to sitting in the liquid boiling. So just keep stirring that nice and gentle. Make sure everything mixes together nicely. Just for a few more minutes. And then we can add the pesto. Okay, so to give it some volume, this is now where I throw in the chili and garlic pesto. 2 heaped teaspoons is plenty. I'm going to put 3. Now obviously chili isn't something that you would throw into a bolognese sauce, but I'm Latino and we put chili on everything. And again, this is my way of making it. Okay, there's a general rule of thumb to make most meals, but over time I like to experiment and just add my own bits and pieces, and it turns out better sometimes than the original recipe. So give it a go and tell me if you liked it or not. Mix that through nicely. Alrighty, this is now smelling incredible. Now that all those ingredients have been mixed through, you get 250 ml of red wine and pour that into the mix. Give it a good stir, and then once the wine reduces, we will also add a little bit of stock, which I forgot to mention earlier, as well as the wine. But now we've reached this part of the show or the episode, so just beef stock, vegetable stock, broth if you've got it. Mix it all through. Give it a nice stir. Let the wine reduce. And with that pesto that I used, obviously if you're abroad and you're watching this and you don't get the Jamie Oliver mixes over there, any sort of tomato paste will work just the same. You can even add both, a little bit of pesto and a little bit of paste. That's one thing that I've always loved about food. You know, there's just so many ingredients that you can mix together and make something really delicious. Alright, so we'll let this cook for another 5 minutes or so, just on a medium heat, and then we'll come back and add the stock. Alright, so this has been cooking for about another 5 to 10 minutes. Smells amazing. The wine's pretty much gone now, but you can smell it in the mixture. So we'll let it cook for another couple of minutes or so, and then we'll add our stock. So 250 ml of stock. And again, repeat, mix it through thoroughly. So it mixes in nicely with the rest of the flavors and ingredients. Just like that. And then we can add our bolognese sauce. Okay, so it's been 2-3 minutes now, and in goes the sauce. A whole jar. This is a 500-gram jar, and then just top it back up again to the very top with some hot water. Give it a quick shake. Pop that open and mix that through too. Beautiful. Now obviously this looks quite watery, obviously because it is, but this is now going to go to a low flame and sit and simmer for the next hour and a half or so. Just remembering to come back to it every 20 minutes or so and give it a gentle stir. All right, this is going to reduce in volume, and in an hour and a half it'll be ready to serve. This smells incredible. And the very last thing at this stage that I like to add is some chopped basil. Basil is one of my all-time favorite herbs. Mix that through. You can use rosemary as well and finely chop the leaves and add that in. I've used rosemary before and it does taste very, very nice, but I prefer to use basil. I'll leave that up to you guys to try it. Make it one way and then make it the other, and then you tell me what you think. But this right here is amazing. You really can't go wrong. So let that cook, like I said, another hour and a half or so. Give it a taste. See if it needs a bit more salt or a little bit more pepper. Obviously, you know, people have different standards of how salty or peppery that they like their meals. This is just general sort of ingredients, ratios, just so it covers, you know, across the board. But yeah, test and adjust as you go. And one more thing, when you're cooking with tomato, it's always good to add a little bit of sugar. For this quantity here, this is raw sugar, so I like to use about 1.5 teaspoons. Okay. Mix that through thoroughly, because the sugar breaks down the acidity of the tomato and neutralizes for the taste buds. And this smells really, really good. Okay. Just quickly give it a sample. That doesn't need any salt and pepper. All right, simmer, lowest heat, hour and a half, we'll come back. Alrighty, so from here, the sauce has been cooking for a good hour and a half now. It smells good, it looks good, it tastes better. The only thing left now to do is to boil your pasta, which I'm not going to insult your intelligence. Everyone knows that's just a matter of boiling some water and adding your pasta and letting it cook for around about 12 to 15 minutes until it's al dente. So the pasta that I like to use is obviously spaghetti number 5. That's my favorite one. I think it's an all-rounder. It's not too thin, it's not too thick. And the Barilla is the one that I usually go for. San Remo is not too bad as well, but really the honest truth is, as long as you've got your sauce made and you're happy with your sauce, you can use whatever pasta you want, to be completely honest. Obviously this is spaghetti, so I'm using spaghetti, but like I said, you can use whatever pasta you want. To accompany the meal, I've got a fresh loaf of sourdough bread, which I'm going to cut into slices and put garlic butter on it, and then stick them in the oven so they go nice and crunchy. If you want to get fancy, you can even grate some cheese and throw it on top and melt that through it. And obviously on top of the pasta with the sauce, the one and only Parmesan cheese. So I'll make a plate in a minute and I'll show it to you guys and present it as a meal. So just quickly, with boiling the water for the pasta, I like to add a little bit of olive oil and just a touch of salt, just because I got told by an old school Italian chef a long time ago that once you've boiled your pasta, if your mix is starting to look a little bit dry, you can always grab a couple of ladlefuls and stick it into your red sauce and mix that through. And yeah, it does work and it tastes amazing. All right guys, so that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you follow the recipe, make it yourselves. All right, you're not going to regret it. You're going to love it. The kids are going to love it. Goes down with a nice glass of red, some garlic bread, cheesy garlic bread if you want to get fancy, like I said. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, guys, because I've checked the analytics and it's telling me that 89% of you aren't subscribed, but you're watching my content. So please help a brother out. Hit the subscribe button. Also click on the notification bell. So that'll let you know every time I've posted a new video. And yeah, thank you for watching. I appreciate all of you, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.